On a lighter note, someone who stuck out to me outside of the whole Sinead drama at this after party was Teddi. The conversation that they were able to have, she opened up about how like her parents separating a lot as a child made her feel like she used the phrase like she had to work or like earn his love, and she feels like she's repeating those patterns in her current dating situations. Thoughts?
Julie, I'll pass this to you. What do you think?
I mean, I like Teddi a lot. I think that it was really nice for her to say that to Clayton. I just like her being on the show, like after admitting that, I'm kind of like, are you repeating a pattern almost of like earning someone's love or fighting for someone's love or feeling like you can't just receive it and have it flow to you? You have to like compete for it in some way. That was kind of like my first thought of like, I don't know if maybe this like framework of the show is good because it's kind of like rubbing against things that are extremely sensitive to you as a person, which is totally okay. But I don't know, that's something I think Teddi should be cognizant of. And I think that's something that may continue to kind of like show up in the episodes if she continues to stick around, that like she might feel that more as like, you know, it narrows down and it is down to like Clayton and the woman that he's genuinely invested in. Like, is she going to feel that? How is he going to manage that? How is he going to help her out with like her insecurities?
That is such a smart observation, Julie, of just like, if she knows she has this issue where she feels like she always has to earn love and fight for love and like try to work to gain love, and like coming on The Bachelor is kind of,
that's like the ultimate exposure therapy.
Well, I mean, it's exposure therapy is exactly what it is. Exactly. She's like exposing herself to exactly that situation where she literally has to fight to earn love on the show. And like, you know, is it going to help her? Maybe, but it kind of seems like it's just gonna pull at those, like trigger those insecurities, which is kind of what we've seen so far. Her conversations, other than the first night where they had a really great conversation and she got that first impression rose, so far all their conversations have just been her talking about like, I feel like you like all the other girls more than me. Like, do you really like me? Like, that's what her conversations have been now. And I'm like, Teddi, like, you're too much of a babe to be worrying about this stuff. Like, and like, and that's kind of what he's been saying too. He's just like, no, like his conversations with her just are always him like having to like reassure her and be like, no, like, just be yourself. Like, you know, you're great. Like, you shouldn't have to worry about all that. Just focus on us. And like, I just think that kind of impedes a little bit of their ability to like really deepen their connection if he's just always having to like reassure her, as opposed to him being able to like learn more about her. I'm glad that she opened up in this conversation and talked more about her past, but I don't know, I'm just a little concerned, Julie, to your point, that like maybe this is just not the right environment for her to be forming a relationship. Even I like her so much, like I want to see her here and I want her to like succeed, and I'm just like, I just don't know if this is her place, the right environment for her to be like trying to find love, you know?
I feel like it's one of those things where it's like I feel like people sometimes can get stuck in the self-awareness part of healing or like growing from an issue. And I feel like that might be what we're seeing from Teddi. It's like, it's great that she was able to recognize this pattern in herself, recognize that she did it as a child and that it might influence her current like dating patterns. But I don't know what work she's doing to combat that or to like try to get away from it. And I think a lot of times people can just identify the problem and they think that's done.
That's a good point. Yeah.
And I'm not saying that with any type of judgment, because I definitely do that in my own life. But
still do it.
From the outside, I'm like, you might just think that the work is done because you've identified the problem. And it's like you're saying, like she invited herself onto the show where the problem's only going to continue to play out and be exacerbated. And so it's like, from what frame of mind did we make that decision to join The Bachelor and to continue to fight for a man's love? So I think that this pattern will continue to surface. But I think also that Clayton, he seems pretty resilient to that type of like insecurity. Like he seems like he would not be a partner that would get tired of providing reassurance. I think he would just be like, okay, like this is what you need to feel comfortable. I'm happy to give that to you. Like I don't think that would bother him. So, you know, it might not, like, even though she might need that extra reassurance, it might not pose any conflict in her relationship, but it also might not get her on the path to healing, because it's like it's just kind of putting a band-aid on it by being with a partner that's like, okay, well, I'll reassure you, and then you don't have to do any internal work and see why this pattern is happening, because it's just not present in this current relationship.
Yeah, really well said. I think that people often go to relationships and like be like, I have all these insecurities, and like what I need out of a relationship is someone who will like affirm me and validate me and like kind of comfort me a lot. And like maybe that's true. You do like want, it's easier to be in a relationship with someone who's willing to do that. And that can't be the only healing. Like the relationship is not what's going to heal you. Like you need to also work on where are those insecurities coming from? Why are they there? What work do I need to do to like not feel this way, so that when I'm in a situation like this, I feel less insecure, not just let me just only be in situations where there's going to be a cute boy to like affirm me and like for me to derive my self-worth from. Like that's not going to be the answer. And like Brianna, I really like how you said that. Like I think this is a bit of a band-aid, like having a guy like Clayton who's going to be very happy to comfort her. That'll help in the interim, and that'll be good, maybe make their relationship, you know, feel nice and cozy and fuzzy for them. But does that mean that Teddi is going to do the healing work that she needs to do to make sure she doesn't have those insecurities? I don't know. So yeah.
Oh my gosh, such smart points from the both of you, because I think the path that might push her towards growth is like her doing it on her own. But like unfortunately, Clayton, I don't know if I think he's just gonna provide the reassurance the most, and like she's not gonna realize that by her doing that, she's off track in her healing. Like she'll get what she's needing, but as soon as he's not there, she'll kind of feel like knocked over almost, because it's not solidified, it's not like scaffolded into like her being as a person that she's moved. And it's not like you can move on from this meaningfully. This will be something that she'll be dealing with her entire life, but you need to feel safe to be with someone that understands that and maybe doesn't provide you the easy solution of like, I'm just going to give you what you need. Unfortunately, I think that like for her, she kind of has to do like a little bit more work. But that's like a personal thing that I'm sure she'll be dealing with, but it'll be very interesting to see the show kind of play that out.
Yeah, I think maybe like it's like security has to be internally sourced. Just
always,
it cannot be derived from a relationship. And you know, it kind of reminds me of, rest in peace, Marissa and Riley. Like love them so much. They're so cute when they're together. I don't know why they broke up, but it kind of reminds me of them. Like Marissa had so many insecurities on Bachelor in Paradise related to being worried that Riley didn't like her enough, or that Riley was going to be into other people. And then like Riley was like, no, I'm like super into you. And he was just so willing to comfort her. And she was like, okay, now I'm happy. And it's like, Band-Aid. Like, you still need to work on why were you so worried the whole time? Like, where did that come from? Like, that needs to be addressed. And it's not that you have to do it, you have to be single to do it. Like I do think that you could do this in a relationship, but to your point, Julie, it's like a little bit of, you need to be careful that you're not taking the easy way out, and you're not just like with a partner who's going to like, you're going to depend on them validating you for you to feel okay.
I don't think Clayton will challenge Teddi. So if she is looking to heal that way in a relationship, this is not the one that will provide.
I don't think so.
Yeah, he kind of feels like a soft blanket, which is wonderful. But like that type of healing, it requires you to go through the fire a little bit. And he will just kind of like, you know, quiet that for her, which is okay if that's a part of her healing to get to before she's like, all right, this is becoming a problem now. And I really can't keep relying on a person to provide me these things that I so need to do for myself.
If you want more of where that came from, be sure to check out our full episode recap. It'll be linked in the description as well as pop up on this screen.